Hey everyone, my name is Ronak, back with another video, and this is 7th video in the Deep Learning for the Rookie Developers playlist. And in this video you are going to learn the data augmentation. So in the last tutorial we have covered the dropout regularization, and in this video we are going to move ahead. So I am using still the same example that I have used so far. So I'll just give you a glimpse of what are the things that are happening over here. So we are using a flower dataset, zipping, then using a data generator. So this image data generator is a functionality provided to you by the Keras where you can perform the data augmentation. Okay, so I'll come to that later. So it basically helps you interact with the images more efficiently so that your deep learning model can easily interpret the things. Later on I'm specifying a batch size over here, then I'm making the training data, then I'm making a testing data. So these are somewhere around 3700 samples, out of which 20% I am taking for testing. After that I'm making my model where I have 3 fully convolutional layers where there are 64 filters which are sized 3 by 3, and activations I'm using ReLU. I have explained everything in my earlier tutorials. If you don't have any idea what I'm talking about, please refer to those tutorials. Then I am flattening this thing and connecting a dense layer of 512 neurons with the ReLU. And then, so this dataset has 5 types of flowers, which is daisy, dandelion, rose, sunflower and tulips. So I'm taking 5 neurons in the last layer, the output layer, and giving it activation function as a softmax. So it is going to specify me the probabilities of the highest classified class. And these are the parameters I have also taught you in the earlier tutorials how to calculate this manually. Then I am compiling it with the cross entropy, categorical cross entropy loss, stochastic gradient descent as my optimizer, and matrix as the accuracy. After that I am taking the training and testing steps. Then I am fitting my model with 10 box. I get this accuracy. Now this was the problem that we faced for that, where my training accuracy was high and testing accuracy was lower. So this is where the balancing dataset principle comes into the picture, where we don't have to overfit nor underfit the data. And in order to do that, I have explained this earlier. Then I tried training with higher number of steps. So I took 25 steps instead of 10, and my accuracy was quite screwed up over here. So it actually ran into an overfitting problem. In order to solve that, we use the dropout regularization. I have also covered this in my earlier tutorials. Added the 2 dropout layers over here and over here, and that considerably improved the performance of my model, which gave me around 69% training accuracy, 62% testing accuracy. Let me tell you about a new technique that is known as augmentation. This is just a bookish definition, but what really is data augmentation? Data augmentation, what do you mean by actually augmentation? So since if we consider this image, so if we have, let's say, a poor testing accuracy, we have to feed it more data. And we have to also construct a bigger network if we have lower training accuracy. So this is for data particularly, but that is in order to reduce the high bias and high variance problem. So we need a lot of data, and sometimes even if you apply, let's say, dropout, this accuracy is not going to shoot up. Alright, you have to try to shoot this accuracy up. For that you require a lot of data, because deep learning does require a lot of data. It works very well if the samples are like 100,000 to 1 million. Augmentation is a procedure where we actually give it a different form of data. Alright, so data augmentation is basically increasing the data that we already have with us in a certain proportion. Let me clear the confusion, one of the big confusions. So I actually came across Adrian Rosbrock. He has posted a Twitter poll where he asked that data augmentation does which of the following. Now I told you that okay, it adds more training data, but is it for real? No. See, I have mentioned his Twitter as well as his article where he has told everything about it. So 67% people say adds more training data, which is quite relevant because that is what we have been learning. Replaces training data 5%, 15%, does both 13%, I don't know. So let me show you his article. In this article, he has actually busted a myth. Okay, so he says only 5% of the respondents answered the question correctly. So what he says is augmentation, the word augmentation, alright, it definitely makes sense that augmentation is basically increasing the composition of something. Alright, augmenting is increasing the measure of it, increasing the composition of it. But what we are particularly concerned of is data augmentation is not what you think. Data augmentation particularly is something where replacing the original batch with the new randomly transformed batch. Okay, so data augmentation does transformation, and he says that's right, the Keras image data generator that I told about class is not additive operation. Okay, it is not going to increase your data, it is going to transform your data. So that data transformation does make sense. I'll show you with an example. So instead, the image data generator accepts the original data, randomly transforms it, and only returns the new transformed data. So this transformation of the data is known as data augmentation. Now you might be wondering, why do I have to transform the data? I'll show you with an example. Imagine this is the image of the lion that we have over here. Image augmentation is going to transform that data in particular, let's say dimensions, and it is going to change its orientation and everything. Now why do we actually need this? Imagine I have only trained my neural network with this data, alright, where I have one image of the lion. Now not necessarily the same is going to be always the predicting image. That lion can be, let's say, in some other dimension and not as expressed over here. So in that case, you have to augment the data. Augmentation actually helps your model to learn better. Actually, I should have covered this before the regularization, but that is fine. But the thing is that augmentation actually improves your data, the way the neural network is going to learn it. Because as humans, if we see this image, even if this image is, let's say, rotated or distorted, we can tell that, okay, this is a lion. But that doesn't happen with a neural network. If you train your neural network with a similar form of just one image, your neural network cannot classify that the particular animal that you are trying to classify is lion. For that, you are going to require data augmentation. So data augmentation has many types. So this is the original image. You can horizontally flip it, vertically flip it. 90-degree rotation is there, -90. You can try to rotate it in some other degrees. Then you can resize it, rescale it, crop it, brighten it, darker it, noise addition. Many of these things can be handled using the image data generator. So data augmentation is very important. Now, I have tried many times, okay, training this thing. That is the reason I'm not going to type a lot of code over here, but instead I'll show you how the things are done, because I have trained this 3 times and it does take quite a long time, even if you are connected to GPU. Alright, and I would say Flowers dataset is not the precise measure to perform this thing, since data augmentation works pretty much well with images that are like classification of animals and everything. But still, I have tried to showcase the actual thing, the way augmentation actually applies on the neural network. In the image data generator, apart from rescaling and validation split, I have started putting a lot of things. Okay, so rotation range I am giving. I am trying to zoom the image. I am doing width shift ranging, height shift ranging. Then I am also shearing the image. Okay, so shearing is where you bend the image in a one particular dimension. Then horizontal flipping is also true, and fill mode is also nearest. Okay, so these are the things I've considered. Only this thing has been added, everything else stays the same. Then the typical training procedure, where I make a neural network and I compile it and I fit it, and later on I have a particular accuracy. Now you might be wondering, okay, why such a low amount of accuracy? Now I wanted to prove you that augmentation can work pretty much well even if you don't have dropouts in it. Okay, I'm not in this one, I'm actually trying to regularize the model, but now I have also given you one more example where I'm not regularizing. Alright, so this network does not have the dropout regularization yet. My accuracy is very, very good. So I get 63% training accuracy and 61% testing accuracy. So augmentation has actually increased the variability of the way my network is. Now another facet to this is that why my training accuracy is still low and it is not even touching 80. I will cover this in the upcoming tutorial, and it is going to be very, very good concept. But at the moment you can understand that I don't require regularization, particularly if I can augment my data. So I am trying to eliminate the need of regularization. Regularization should be particularly used if and only if you have an overfitting or underfitting problem. Otherwise you don't have to. You can just work with the augmented data and you can get pretty much better results. Later on, I have tried to increase my layers. Alright, so in this one I constructed a bigger network. Okay, so this bigger network just to check whether I get some any improvements in this accuracy. But that is not true. The reason is we have to train an extremely big network, and augmentation doesn't affect the flowers dataset quite much, I would say, dominantly. Alright, it is just cool. So we have to use some another dataset that I'll be covering in the next upcoming tutorials. But for now, you can understand that I have one layer of 128 neurons with 3x3 filters. Later on, one more 128. Then 64. Okay, so I'm starting with big and then diminishing, then 512, 256 neurons, 128, and then finally 5. I could have added a dropout layer between these fully connected layers, but that is just fine. Okay, I wanted to prove that even though if I increase the network, my parameters would increase definitely, for sure, but my training is becoming very much efficient. Okay, so I have 62% training accuracy and 60% as my testing accuracy. So this is pretty much good. Okay, so this is the concept of the data augmentation. Now, why I don't have a great accuracy? The reason is we have to construct an extremely big network, which we are going to learn how we can actually do it easily on our end using transfer learning in the next tutorial. So transfer learning does play a very important role when it comes to the principles of improving the accuracy. Since I am using data augmentation, I have actually eliminated the need of using the regularization. I don't have to use regularization now unless I'm overfitting or underfitting at a very high range. Augmentation has eliminated that need. That is the main concept I wanted to prove in this tutorial. And this tutorial was pretty much, I didn't type anything, I just copy pasted everything because I was running this for a long period of time and it does take quite a long time. Alright, so I have only trained, but you can have this notebook. Okay, I will put the link in the description box below of this YouTube video where you can just click it. It will redirect you to the GitHub repository where you can actually download this notebook and try it for yourself. If you don't have a decent GPU and if you are only working with the CPU, this is not going to work as expected. Okay, it is going to take a very long time. So what you can do is just go to the runtime, change runtime type, and here you have to select hardware acceleration. So none is by default, then you select TPU, which is tensor processing unit, not going to work for you. So you have to use GPU. GPU is graphical processing unit, and the machines they offer are pretty much good. Alright, they offer you Quadro machines, or I think very, I would say, great machines with the Turing architectures and everything. Alright, so you can actually try that. And I would suggest that you should look at the data augmentation from a different point of view because it is definitely important. And I should have covered it earlier before the regularization, but I just wanted to prove a point that I can eliminate the need of the regularization because I am getting the same accuracies. Even if I eliminate the data regularization, I don't require it if I am augmenting my data. So this is it for this tutorial. I hope you might have learned something or the other. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do it and click on the bell icon so that you will get notified every time whenever I post something new. Alright, so thank you for watching. Goodbye.